Hey folks, it's Rob Edmonds here with VirginiaPreps.com. It's playoff time in Virginia high school football. We just finished out the regular season. We've got 12 teams in the Piedmont area that are going to be playing this Friday, looking to advance to the next round of the postseason. Four classifications are represented by the 12 Piedmont teams. We'll start in Class 5, where the Louisa County Lions finished number 5, and they're going to go on the road to face Midlothian this week. The Lions were 8-2 on the season, reeled off 8 straight wins after taking 2 losses early on. Savion Hyder and Dizier Carter were big weapons for the team, but there was a lot of playmakers that were involved in that winning streak down the stretch. And most of the games that they played in were decided by halftime. So this should be a good one. They face Midlothian, who comes in 7-3. They're the number 4 seed in the region. Expect a big game on Friday night, and our own Will Garlick will be out to cover that contest. Out in Class 4, we've got 2 teams. EC Glass from the Seminole District made it in at the number 8 seed, finished the season 5-5. They've got a tough matchup taking on George Washington this week. GW finished the season 10-0, or I'm sorry, 9-1, went on a 9-game winning streak after losing to Dinwiddie to start the season. But they've been very tough down the stretch, and that'll be a big contest for EC Glass. Orange County also faces a Seminole District team in Jefferson Forest. Um, Orange County's number 6 seed, JF's number 3. Orange was 8-2, had a loss to Louisa County, which was a big one in the Jefferson District. JF contended for the Seminole District title. They were 9-0 going into the game last week where they faced Liberty Christian and got blown out there in the loss 50-6. But they'll be back, and you can expect the team to be back in full force as the Cavaliers look to take on the Hornets Friday night. Class 3 and Class 2, we've got several teams in the area that's playing. Speaking of Liberty Christian, they're the defending state 3 class champions. They went undefeated again this season, undefeated last season, so they're going to look to continue that win streak throughout the rest of the year. They've got a first round contest with the Broadway Gobblers. The Gobblers were 7-3 and finished number 2 in the Valley District. So that'll be a tough contest for Broadway, though, facing the Bulldogs, who have Gideon Davis, class 2025 prospect, scored 5 touchdowns last week, and they've got a variety of weapons, but Davidson is a big key for the Bulldogs. Heritage will face Rustburg for the second time this year. Heritage-Lynchburg finished number 4 seed in their region. Rustburg was number 5. In their first contest, the Pioneers defeated the Red Devils 31-14 over at City Stadium. They're going to be back on tap. Should be a little bit closer contest, but both teams finished strong this year. The Pioneers were 8-2, while the Red Devils were 7-3. And then last but not least in Class 3, we've got Turner Ashby, who also was undefeated. They finished number 2 in the region. They'll be taking on Staunton this year, or this week, excuse me. Staunton finished the season off at 7-3 after a tough start to the season. That should be a good contest, but TA is going to be looking to continue that win streak. They were able to finish this season 10-0 after going 9-1 a year ago. So they finished the deal in the regular season. Now they're going to see if they can take it the distance in the postseason. Last but not least, we get to Class 2. Class 2 has 4 Bull Run District football teams that are playing this weekend. The first contest pits number 1 seed Clarke County against Madison County, who came in at number 8. They finished 4-6. These two teams squared off last week. Clarke County won 49-35 on the road down in Madison. This time they switch it around, and they'll be playing up in Berryville, Virginia. But the Eagles will hope that they can repeat what happened last week by knocking out the Mountaineers and continuing their season. Central-Woodstock came in at number 5. They had a season where it went kind of back and forth. They started off really strong, had to forfeit their first 4 contests. 3 of those were victories that they had recorded prior to the forfeiture. Appealed that, came back and won the appeal, regained those wins, ended up finishing the season at 7-3. Tough loss last week by 1 point to Strasburg, 20-19. But the Falcons are in the postseason. They'll go on the road to face Buckingham County. Buckingham finished the season undefeated. Had 5 shutouts this year and only allowed 41 points in 10 contests. 13 points after the first 2 weeks. So very, very strong defensive team there in the Knights. Central's got their hands full, but they'll be in action Friday night, and that's where I'll be at, taking care of covering all the action for you all. And then last but not least, Strasburg, I just mentioned, they finished number 2, 9-1 on the season. They'll be hosting Fort Defiance this week. Fort was 5-5. They're going to have a tough contest with Strasburg. Strasburg's got a very strong running game behind key coats and a couple other team members that can move the football on the ground, and a very strong defense for the Rams as well. Should be a lot of action that's closely contested this week. Sometimes it's not always that way in round 1, but we do expect some close games this week. Stay tuned to VirginiaPreps.com for a recap of all the action, and I'll be covering these teams in the Piedmont. Look forward to catching you all later this week.